I think you all have called this the cheap fakes video, and that's exactly what they are. They are cheap fakes video. They are done in bad faith, and some of your news organization have been very clear, have stressed that these the right-wing critics of the president have a credibility problem because of the fact checkers have repeatedly caught them pushing misinformation, disinformation. I'll quote the Washington Post, where they wrote about this, and they said how Republicans use misleading videos to attack Biden in a 24-hour period. And to their credit, we have a conservative Washington Examiner did call them out as well, calling out the New York Post. Ironically, several recent cheap fakes actually attacked the president for thanking troops. For thanking troops. That is what they're attacking the president for. Both in Normandy, this happened, and again in Italy. And I think that it tells you everything that we need to know about how desperate Republicans are here.
Hey. Good shit. I on that I just have to play this. There's Chucky, fresh off the cheese on the raw meat, but this is from today.
Thanks to all the members of Congress and Homeland Security Secretary. I'm not sure I'm going to introduce you all the way.
This is what happens when you don't put on a stop loss.
Thanks to all the members of Congress and Homeland Security Secretary. I'm not sure.
Anyway, hilarious. I wonder who that guy is. Anyway, let's get into it. All right. I have to say off the bat, this is the most interesting setup that I've ever traded. Since it's Juneteenth tomorrow, and I'm sure you guys are gonna go out dancing and whatever you do. Excuse me. Let me just start from this. This is 5 days. White is the price action. Green are current calls. Red is puts. I've never seen calls this high. Ever. It literally has not occurred. So, this is today. Just accumulation of calls. But let's dig into this a little bit. Put it on 5 days. Okay, so we see we have a shit ton of calls. Expiration 7 days. Okay, expiration 15 days. Expiration 30 days. And these are no filtering, all calls and puts. So now that you've seen it with your own eyes, the question becomes, where do we go from here? Well, we are like over the Bollinger Bands. This is my weekly and monthly high and all that good stuff right there. Can we go higher? Yes. Have we now spent 5 days think about this, for 5 days the bears have not been able to close the gap. The daily 9 is now through the gap. Okay? And unless you swung here and played yesterday, you've made no money at all. Okay? So how do you play it? Well, there's two things can happen. The JPM collar is right there. Actually, no, it's right there. Let me actually get the exact number here from the Moon Notes. Bear with me. It's going to be a little bit longer recap anywho's. The collar is 55.65. 55.65. All right, so this is what I'm going to do. Perfect. Sell your shit. Okay. How can we get here? Now, if you don't know what the JPM collar is, usually when we go close to it, we go over, which sounds crazy. But again, I'm probably the only one down here, and especially down here, that said that we were going to go here. And here we are. Ta-da! We can either go straight there this week on a full moon pump. Friday's quad witching. If you don't know what quad witching is, do a quick Google. Or we gap up, we come down, we defend the gap and bounce off the 9. Which would put us up here by next week's Friday. Now, there's several things happening. We got the debate on Thursday. They're not going to want the market to sell into that. And then you got core PCE that definitely has the possibility to pump us right here. So we either go straight there or we're looking for a pullback here. Now, usually after OPEX, the Tuesday is the low. Thursday, we got early high. Okay? So we got Thursday early high and Friday early low. We haven't had an OPEX repeat in a while, and full moon as well on Friday. So I recommend your 90% cash. When you enter, put a stop loss on. Make sure that you don't enter with full porting. Don't be an idiot, okay? Right? Okay, goes without saying. So after hours, we finally got a little bit of a move here. New all-time highs after hours. So, if for whatever reason we gap up and we hit 550 on SPY on Thursday, I'm short. Otherwise, I am still playing upside. Now, it's very faint, but this red line here is the top of the Bollinger Band. And as we talked about in the full moon circle, and if you're not a member yet, upgrade, join our weekly Zoom call. We talked about DeMarc's trading rule. We are hitting bar 13 here above. So we should sell. We should sell. That doesn't mean we're going to sell. This rally yesterday that we caught, no one even remembers why we rallied. Let's be honest. So we're really pushing the envelope here. We can get a pullback through time as well and then go higher. Or if we sell, I would say the market is so strong that we get a B-shaped recovery. So I'll be on the lookout for a sell. Now, how do you, usually when we get one of these $10 sells all of a sudden, what does it look like? Well, we kind of have to go back and I'll show you an example, right? We really got to go back. What you want to see is this here. You want the 9, the 21, and the 89 on the hourly to be just puking and catch that sell, okay? Or, let's see here, you want these to bend down fast, okay? I'll be on the lookout for that. However, this is a freaking bull flag that wants to go higher. No doubt about that. So, Nvidia caught up to the market today, or did it? Or did it lead the market and the market needs to catch up? That's debatable. I mean, we've gone up high. Would it have been great to catch it today? Sure. But there's a rebalancing here. Okay. Now, Meta still has room to go. But this is your FANG indicator. Right now, anytime Nvidia gets a green candle, Apple gets a red candle. Okay. So they're just rebalancing those. Now SMCI, I'm in it. And I know Mikey is in it balls deep. And I hope it works out. Caught that move yesterday and caught the move today. You got 4 days of buying here. Once it cracks this area, it's gone. It can literally run to 1200. So I'm in the 1200s for next week. Once this gets going, I have no problem adding. But for this week, I'm only in the, I think I got some 1,000 runners. So let's see. Great setup. Look at the TTM, hasn't even started printing teal yet. Even today's daily candle here was more buys than sells, as you can see. Volume definitely ramping up here. MACD looks good. RSI has plenty of room. Can go. It's pretty much running on split rumor. Okay. ARM today, absolute ripper. Here I know Elwood was in it, and it's always scary. And I'll talk about it. We talked about it in the full moon circle. When you get candles like that, you want to get out, right? You never know if it's gonna run. So if you believe in the trade, keep your calls. Buy some puts, just in the money until it recovers. And if you have a stop loss on your calls, the worst thing that happens is you stop out of your calls and you ride the puts down, right? So then you save the trade. Every trade doesn't work out. And if you're new to the moon trend, you're trading with some of the best traders ever. Learn the indicators, learn the language, listen, okay? There's a reason I make these videos. Every day doesn't provide this. You got to be ready for this. But most of the time the market chops. The next data we have is next week's Friday. We have a bunch of external stuff like Quadwitch, and we have the debate, we have this and that. Fed speakers were all pretty bullish. Price couldn't get higher. Everybody and everybody's grandma says price cannot go higher without a pullback at this point. Do I agree? Yes. But can the price go higher? Of course it can. I'm not saying it will, but it can. Okay? Tesla, another one I have on watch here. Over this wedge, clearly wants up. Once, and I've got some alerts there. Once it breaks 188, I think it's gone. Okay, so SMCI, Tesla on watch. But I'll be playing SPY predominantly because even today, with today's bogus action, sure, we couldn't close above all-time highs. We hit a new all-time high, first of all. We cleared these. Remember I was talking about we had that double top? Well, we went back there after hours over. We didn't lose yesterday's high or low either. Look at that. That end of day dip. That was the low of today. This is still bullish action. And if you look on the 1 hour, you got hammer candle after hammer candle. So they're keeping it above the hourly 9. Now, once this uses the 9, where's it going to go? Well, it's going to go to the 21. That might bounce. If it doesn't, we're going to go gap fill. Where? All the way down here. Will they then protect the gap? Possible. So once this sell happens, it's going to be a one-day event. It's going to be a $8 to $10 move down, and then don't do anything the next day. And then if it holds on the third day, we start going up again. That's the Larry Williams trading rule. Market, this is SMCI. You see they're still buying it. But they're rotating, so like looking at these for SPY and QQQ doesn't really do much, right? I more so look on the market tide, which is pretty neck and neck all day, honestly. Another interesting thing is you now got a double bottom on KRE, holding over the daily 9. At some point, this is going to start going for the gap, which is up here at 52. Okay? Right there. I mean, why not? They bought it up. Look at the MACD. Ready to go. Once this crosses, you're going to cross. Boom. So they can hold NVIDIA and tech right where they are and just funnel money. I mean, that's a part of the exit liquidity move. You're selling. I mean, how many retail traders, for instance, do you think comprehend how much $3 trillion is? So you keep selling, you keep pumping it up a little bit slowly. Give them the money, then all you need to do is pull it down to 120 and buy it all back from them when they're out. And pump it back again. That's the game. Now, the NAMO, I don't know if it's updated for today, but since we didn't have a recap yesterday, it is as low as it was during August lows. I mean April lows here. It has room to go higher. I know it sounds crazy. Now we had big expiration today. Not a big move on the VIX. The VIX can go lower. You pump this down here, boom, you're at 555. Same thing with the Dixie. Dixie looks, drop it down to here, boom, done. So we can go either way. The question for me is, do we pull back first to the 9, the daily 9 that has now passed through the gap? One of the most bullish things you can see. Do we come down here? All you need is for this to sell down to here. And everybody on Twitter, every asshat who doesn't know anything and don't understand the power of Janet Yellen, will say that the market top is in. Well, if it's a 5-minute chart and you come down and the 9 holds, are you going to buy calls or puts? You're going to buy calls. Same thing works on a daily candle. And then finally, you got the 10-year yield under 2 party lines. All the market needs to do to go to 575 is for this to come down here. So there's lots to play with. Now, today was a consolidation day, a very bullish consolidation day. Tomorrow we have nothing. We got some home sales above. I bet futures are open. I don't know why the stock market needs to be closed for Juneteenth, or formerly known as Columbus Day. I think it's pretty, political reasons, whatever. Thursday, since we're all data dependent, durable goods, that's next week, sorry, my bad. Thursday, we have Bank of England rate decision, building permits, but these jobs numbers are going to give a reaction. You got some Philly Fed stuff, and then you have mortgage rates barking. You really don't have anything on Thursday. And Friday, if we pull an inside day on Thursday, I promise you that the move either to the upside or downside comes on Friday. If it's to the downside, do not buy calls until end of day Tuesday and just ride some puts. If it's to the upside, jump in. Now, Tuesday, you're going to have Canadian inflation, but most importantly, next week, if we can get a short-term bottom or defend the gap or whatever, you got GDP. But next week's Friday into July, you're going to probably get a pump because you got core PCE, and then it's July. So there's going to be some volatility coming along here. Quad witching always comes with volatility. Trade with a stop. If you don't know what you're doing, or first of all, never trade on your phone, meaning driving around. You got to be in front of a computer. Like, do you think that Wall Street people just hammer stuff on their phone? Sometimes it works, but you got to know what you're doing. Sit down, treat the market with respect. That's the only way to do it. Be honest with yourself. Don't play too much. Use stop losses if you don't have the mental capacity to say, okay, this trade is not ready to go yet. There might never not be anything wrong with the projected trade, but if you can't gauge the premiums, there's a reason I trade SPY all the time, because I know the premiums, right? I know when there's a chance for them to juice and when there's not. So just be aware, okay? And make sure that you don't go red. Protect your gains. Like I knew after making probably the biggest gains of all year yesterday, would have been in the top 5 had I not stopped out of the 543s, that today was not going to be a continuation, even though I wanted it to. I'm actually surprised at how well we held. Which brings us to not only this freehand chart, which is on point, this baby is the ticket to the upside. Okay, I got 50 alerts right there. Okay, once it breaks this, boom, next stop is going to be right there, and then we get to see, do we reject and come down and retest, or do we continue to up here, possibly here. I got a ghost candle 207. I'm telling you guys, this thing on Friday could get juicy, and if not this Friday, than next Friday. But my number one watch, even so. Do know that QQQ's daily RSI is so fucking tapped out, it's not even funny. Can it go higher? Technically, yes. Has it ever? It has, but SPY has more room, as you can see. Here, let me show you. But we're getting close to a reversal nevertheless. So I'm just putting it out there. We are getting close to a reversal. That doesn't mean that the whole market sells. We could just have a rotation. All right, guys. Hopefully this puts you in the right frame of mind for Thursday and Friday. 2 first hours of Thursday are going to be very important. Friday is a complete lottery ticket. And we'll have to kind of watch Bitcoin too. And next week, I think we have the possibility to be back into the catch the low of the week on Tuesday or Wednesday. Load calls in the money for Friday, pay a little more, and sit back and let it grind type of dealio. Thank you, guys. Love you. Appreciate all of you. See you on Thursday.
100% on the side. Boom. Keep going. We're turning the moon, baby. $776 billion. Couple contracts, the old contracts on that. $76 billion